Hey, how's it going, guys? My name is Jackie Fish and welcome back to Rome 2 Total War. And you may be asking yourself, Jackie, this doesn't really look like Rome 2 Total War. That's because we are using the brand new China mod that has been added into Rome 2. I believe it was originally an Attila Total War mod, and a modder has taken that kind of mod, put it into Rome 2 and gone ahead and done a change, loads of balancing and other stuff like that to make this mod compatible. Not only that, you can also play as China in the campaign. You have to pick up Bactria. As you can see, these factions are Bactria, and you just go ahead and build a Chinese office, which is really cool. So yeah, if you want to check out this mod, I'll leave a link to it down below in the description. You can go ahead and play as the Chinese in the campaign, play as Bactria, and you can try and take over the Roman Empire and try and dominate the ancient world in Europe, which could be a ton of fun. Or you can just have some fun online battles, which is exactly what we are doing today. And also, guys, if you want to be a part of these battles, I'll leave a link to the Discord to the guys who played this battle down below in the description, so you guys can check it out. They host a ton of Rome 2 battles, so I highly recommend, if you're interested, to go and play alongside them. They're always looking for new people, no matter what your skill level actually is. So in today's battle, we are asking the question, who is stronger? Is it going to be the might of the Roman Empire, or is it going to be the invading Chinese forces? We'll have to see. This is also a 3 vs 2 as well, so there's 3 Chinese armies going up against 1 or 2 Roman legions. And I mean, Rome is coming prepared, right? They have a ton of these armored legionaries. They have some of these late cohorts. They also have Syrian archers, artillery pieces, and a whole wealth of other resources at their disposal as these ballistas load up. But we've already seen Rome. We've seen Rome a million times. Let's take a look at the Chinese units that are being brought to bear in this battle right here. So on the front line for the Chinese, we do have the forces of the conscripts, just lightly armored infantry, nothing special. Basically the sacrificial lambs of the army, you know, like the plebs of Rome, basically. And these guys are going to be kind of a mix on the front line, ready to push forward. Over on this other flank, we do have some of the monks, and these are warrior monks. These are no measly religious men. They are powerful warriors alongside their religion, and they'll be using that with their awesome weaponry right there. But as we continue to go back, we do have some of these provincial swordsmen. So these are kind of like the mid-tier swords for the Imperial factions. And again, they look awesome. Really nice artwork, obviously, in the original mod. Indeed. Then we also have some Imperial officers right here. These guys are obviously going to be much more heavily armored, ready for battle, and ready to get stuck in. We have some more monks here. We then have some crossbowmen, or these actually bowmen. Obviously, the Chinese will have very good crossbows as well. We've got some Imperial archers right here. We also then have some Imperial cavalry, and these guys look amazing. Basically, just heavily armored cataphracts. Awesome stuff, indeed. I mean, oh, looks amazing. Really looks very cool. Is the battle lines going to clash? No, the battle lines still have a little ways to go, which is great. We then also have some Imperial swordsmen set up right here. Again, pretty decent weaponry that they have access to. You know, this is the full might of China, so they're going to have a lot of really good units for sure. Also, we have an Imperial warlord back here. I love how he's wielding that glaive. Bloody glaive and a shield. I mean, he is a mighty warrior to be able to do that. Then we also have some more units over on this other side. Again, we just have some more Imperial swords. The Chinese are coming prepared. Look at this. That's how powerful the Chinese are. They have telepathic warriors who can float in mid-air. I mean, my God, what a mighty warrior he is. I mean, if I was Rome and I saw this guy walking on air, I'd be very scared indeed. Yeah, obviously, you know, this mod, yeah, obviously stuff like this will, you know, get fixed as the mod gets, you know, more and more on. It looks like the officers, though, are flying in midair. I want to see how they fight. That's hilarious. So anyway, that's basically it. There's probably a few units I have missed in the roster. There is a camel unit. Yeah, this unit right here. Oh my God. I mean, just look how amazing this unit looks. Oh my God, that looks insane. So goddamn cool. So yeah, Rome is going to be up against it in this battle. They really are. Especially because I believe as the artillery comes in, doing some pretty good damage, ripping through the conscripts. But I mean, I doubt the Chinese mind too much about that. Yeah, as I said, I'm pretty sure the Chinese factions are a little bit too strong right now. But I'm sure balancing will help them out in that. The Roman artillery is doing a very good job right now. And it seems like the Chinese are just simply trying to weather the storm let this artillery fire come in. Luckily, that shot was missed, and kind of just try and waste that ammunition because, as we see, they do have a lot of men. They also have these chariots as well, which can do a ton of damage. And also, look how awesome that does look as well. They've got spikes in the center of the chariots as well. It's so cool. And then obviously the scythes as well to rip through enemy lines. So these heavy chariots can be very deadly if used correctly. Once again, the conscripts are advancing forward. The artillery is bombarding their formation. It seems like the Chinese are in a bit of a sprint now, looking to close the distance between the Roman formation. And this is a very, very good setup for the Chinese because they have their conscripts on the front line, which is going to be very useful as the conscripts are going to take the majority of the javelin fire. You know, as they charge in, all the peeler coming in from the armored legionaries and everyone else is going to be absorbed on these conscripts. So then when the more imperial units do advance up and get stuck in, it'll be a very, very dangerous situation for the Romans. So can we see the legionaries form up? I also really love as well the way these players do set up their formation as well. It just looks really cool. There you go, the Romans throwing their peeler now against the Chinese, taking down swaves of them. But the initial lines, the first battle between China and Rome is now commencing. And as you can see, the Chinese are obviously heavily dealing, just trying to, as I said, absorb that ammunition right off the bat until their more elite infantry does get stuck in, because they have a lot of really strong guys just sitting back waiting for their time to move in. And just like that, the conscripts are going to be whipped away, the Roman front line holding firm, sending these guys back to whence they came. And they're literally not losing a single man right there on that initial charge. But that is exactly what these conscripts are here for. They're not here to do any damage. They're here to absorb that ammunition. They're here to, try and make that peeler go to waste. And they've done a very good job at that. So, a nice play there by the attackers moving up this hill. And it's definitely going to make room for the Roman, for the rest of the Imperial army to advance forward. The cavalry is moving around. I wonder what they're going to be up to. And you can see the archers are now in position. Going to be looking just to, again, deal with these conscripts a little bit quicker than they maybe necessarily are. And I mean, to be fair, they've basically dealt with all of that. The archers are now in range, though, which is a pretty decent job. Also, the thing is as well, the conscripts do actually come back from routing and charge back in. So the bowmen are now in range, and they will be unleashing their imperial glory onto the Roman lines. And we might see some Romans form up into a testudo, maybe a shield wall, just something to give them a little bit more protection from this missile fire. But the Syrian archers are closing the distance to obviously start returning some counter fire to them. So we'll have to see. And I mean, obviously the Chinese will probably be more than happy to just, kind of weather this storm of the artillery coming in and get their archers to start doing some good damage, because this arrow fire will definitely soften up the enemy front line, and it might even force the Romans to come down. But I mean, right now that Roman formation does look pretty goddamn scary. I wouldn't want to fight that Roman formation, but I guess that's why nobody will remember my name, as the once legendary figure said. We also have this pretty nice engagement up on the hill, and it seems like the Romans have brought their best cavalry to bear, at least on this left flank. But they are going to be fighting some camels, which is going to be a very, very interesting engagement for them. I don't know if they'll be strong enough. And I mean, just look at that battlefield, man. What a crazy engagement. And the awesome white coats of the conscripts really do provide a pretty interesting kind of aesthetic to that battlefield indeed. But it seems like for the most part, we are just getting a pretty large skirmish fight right now as the Imperial archers just duke it out with the Syrian archers. And it's a pretty slow affair right now. No one really overcommitting to this fight, just trying to see who can kind of, just lodge the enemy missiles first, because generally whoever wins this skirmish phase can just sit back and let the enemy come to them. And ideally for China, that would be a very good thing, because the Romans are slightly uphill, so they don't really want to keep on pushing up this kind of like, it's only a slight hill, but it is still a hill. They don't really want to have to fight uphill the entire time. The warrior monks are maybe setting up for another advance charge as the missiles continue to move in. And I think this left flank is going to be very deadly as well, because the Romans just seem to not have as many missiles as the Chinese. So they should be doing some pretty good damage, and they are hitting a lot of these elite infantry units for Rome as well. Well, the cavalry's making a move onto the camels as we jump over, and it seems like the camels are going to be getting caught off guard. No orders coming in, and the Praetorian Guard are going to come flying in with the support of their expedition forces right there. And a unit coming around the side, and I think they're going to be trying to rear charge. So it seems like the Romans are just doing a very nice job right now. Also, I don't know why all three of the generals are sitting back here for the Imperial Warlord, but they are. It's a bit weird, but okay. No problem whatsoever. And you can see the cavalry now charging. That's going to kind of prompt off more lines advancing forward, as the archer fire is just, you know, killing some of these Syrian bowmen, but not really getting stuck in. I love the look of these camel riders, their weaponry, their helmets. They kind of have like kettle helmets on, which look awesome. They look like fine English gentlemen. And we can just see the archers fighting in the distance. And I'm really surprised we're not seeing more cavalry from the Imperial forces being thrown out to his flank, because I feel like it would be very needed to win this fight. But the camels do scare horses. But with that initial, you know, charge off for the Romans, that envelopment, yeah, the camels are getting taken care of pretty nicely. The Romans are still losing a handful of horses, but nowhere near that much. And it seems like the archers have run out of ammunition, and they're going to be the next unit to charge in against their foes. And we are now getting a pretty large advancement on the left flank. I mean, this is a lot of Imperial troops here, a lot of elite Imperial troops. I mean, my God, they have, you know, a lot of these gold chevron infantry ready to advance forward. And I'm really just trying to mess up the Romans. The Romans have formed up into a testudo, so to try and withstand that missile fire. A lot of archer fire killing these conscripts once again. And now the Romans are, pursuing more of the infantry. There's actually infantry coming down the hill at them. They did form shield wall, but it does seem like that charge was pretty effective, killing a handful of them. So they're going to also be able to kill a handful of these horses as they pull out. The camels just fleeing. Oh my God, the camels look so hilarious. Look at that go. Camels pulling out of that battle. Yeah, I don't know why they left the generals all the way back here. There must have been a reason, right? But I wonder why. Maybe it's just because they found out that this unit was extremely OP, so they just kind of didn't play with them. I honestly wonder why. Once again, though, the archers are being thrown forward. I guess they are just out of ammunition. And again, they're just being committed to this fight to try and tire out their opponents. Try and, you know, shave off a couple casualties. Because if you don't know, in Rome 2, the way that killing a unit works, is they kind of have this, like, Halo 2 style shield around the unit at 160. And then over time, that shield is worn down. And then eventually, so like one archer volley will do like no damage, and then the next archer volley will do like 2 casualties, and then the next volley will do like 4 casualties, and that's kind of how it works. So you kind of want to get rid of that initial shield. I know it sounds weird when we're talking about ancient Romans, but by doing this, you actually do kind of weather down the unit bit by bit, which means when you finally do advance your more elite units, they'll have a much easier time at actually killing the enemy front line and breaking through that. But I mean, for the most part, these conscripts have just been absolutely slaughtered. That is for sure. I'm excited to see, though, when these infantry lines do clash. And obviously, Rome does have the advantage when it does come to cavalry. So they're going to be doing a pretty good job there. We do have another cavalry advancement right here as well. I wonder what we're going to do with this, because I'm pretty excited to see what the Roman cavalry is capable of. It does seem like so there's some more archers, though, trying to pick away a few of these infantrymen right there. We are getting another advancement, and now the monks are going to be getting sent in. The next wave is coming forward into the Roman battle line, and now we're going to be able to see. So the monks will definitely be doing a much better job. I mean, oh my God, they have 80 melee attack. That is insane. Okay, I mean, they obviously have no armor, but this is going to be very interesting to see what the monks are capable of. The Roman front line is withstanding another enemy charge. And we'll have to see if they are capable of taking on these guys. And yeah, look at that as well. They've actually managed to open up their formation quite nicely so that they can kind of get around the flank of this formation somewhat. You can see these sticks, these warrior monks, obviously trained in martial arts. And even some Roman forces are having to be reinforced into these positions because the monks have almost enveloped. And with their heavy melee attack, they're going to be absolutely cutting down the Romans. Like, that 80 melee attack is actually insane. I don't think, you know, they should be that strong. But then again, they are very lightly armored, so maybe that is a nice little counter to them. With the reinforcements coming in, though, that's going to be a huge help. But yeah, look at that. They are just decimating these Romans. I imagine once the Romans come into their flank and reinforce this section, it's going to be not as bad. But my God, are these guys powerful. Definitely way too powerful than they should be. As you can see, plenty of kills. Just like this right flank, though, is pretty sturdy, though, when it does come to the rest of the fight. And now the other forces, as the Chinese do start to get whipped away with the reinforcements of the Romans, their last couple infantry contingents are now advancing. I also really want to keep an eye on these chariots, as I feel like they'll do a great job. Yeah, you can see the Romans are just reinforcing these gaps where the monks do live. So the monks are like glass cannons. I think they're kind of like Falxes in this, like they should be used on the flanks just to charge in, with a random unit of archers as well coming in, trying to catch off maybe some of these units. Romans are quickly reforming once again, preparing themselves for another charge. The cavalry is finally being advanced as well. I don't know why they were sitting back there. But here we go. The more elite units are being pushed up. There's also a brave unit of Roman infantry up here. Pillow back in formation. Pillow! No, Pillow is off. For honor and glory. And I imagine to his death. I don't think he can take on all of these. Oh, we got the chariots going in as well, supported by a ton of these Imperial units. And let's see what these chariots are made of. I really want to get some chariots in my head-to-head. Oh my God, that is brutal. Ripping through the lines and just keep on going. I really want to use chariots in my head-to-head against Republic of Play, because that would just be so much fun, I think. And I think they can be really deadly as well if used correctly. And here we go. The battle lines are now clashing with true Imperial units. This is now the last-ditch effort for China to really commit everything they have. And we'll have to see. We've got Roman forces there in the distance, quickly reforming up. So fighting does continue. We'll get through this bush and keep on going. We've got cavalry in the distance now, so this is going to be pretty big to see how well the Roman cavalry does perform, because I think we do have the Chinese cavalry coming over. Yeah, the Chinese cavalry is set up here with the generals, and I imagine they'll do a pretty good job, but they obviously do not want their flanks to get hit up against them. We have some of the provincial swordsmen as well, duking it out with the other units. You also got a unit of Chiarii over here. It does seem like, though, that the Socii Extraordinarii, or whatever they're called, the shock cavalry, is going to be coming in and getting a pretty nice rear charge right off there. The chariots are still just running amok into the Roman line, and yeah, this, I mean, if they can keep on going, this will be so deadly. That's the problem though with chariots. It's pretty hard to use them. They can either be absolutely amazing or just trashed here. And I don't know how these guys seem like they're, yeah, 113 kills on them already. We've got some Chinese cavalry getting stuck in here. Seems like into the rear of these Romans, and they are dropping very, very quickly indeed. As we obviously have more of the Imperial Swordsman. The Imperial Swordsman is going to be what does the damage in this battle, especially as more reinforcements do arrive up. We've got some Imperial Spears there. I mean, just what an awesome battle, really. Awesome stuff indeed. The chariots are being bogged down, and as soon as they do get bogged down, they die very quickly. Oh, Chinese using their fighting prowess there to do some really cool kill animations. They are fighting an eagle cohort though, so this is obviously the elite of the elite for Rome. And it's also pretty interesting as well to note the different sword styles as well. The Chinese sword is obviously a lot longer up against the Roman gladius. But Rome will be more than capable of fighting against, you know, a longer weapon, as they have proved many times. Does seem like the Roman front line is kind of breaking, even though the center is still alive there. It seems like there are gaps appearing. However, the Roman left flank has won so heavily. An Imperial cavalry charge there. Oh, brutal, sending the Romans to the ground. But we do have Rome winning this flank and going to be pushing around quite nicely. We do have a cavalry charge coming in diamond formation, but we're just going to not be able to break the Chiarii. Even if they do a very good job, we do get counter-charged almost immediately by the Praetorian Guard. That's actually a pretty decent charge there by the Imperial Warlord. He did a lot of damage. The main fight is right here, though, and we're going to have to... It's going to be very interesting to see how the Chinese camp there, because they've lost, obviously, that flank, but they're doing such a great job over on this side. However, this unit of spearmen is fighting bravely on against a massive Roman cavalry, trying their best to withstand this onslaught of horse. They're doing a pretty good job, honestly. And now some of the Imperial infantry has now freed up their cohorts, and they are, yeah, they've completely broken the Romans on this side. And I think the Romans, for the most part, are trying to fall back now, trying to reform their battle line, which I think is a very, very smart decision. They need to quite quickly reform up, because this battle is actually really even right now. I mean, it says that the Romans do have the advantage, but I think there's a lot of elite Imperial units still left remaining. Especially if they can kill one of the Roman generals as well. The Legatus is actually engaging against the Imperial Warlord. And the Imperial Warlord comes with over 90 men, whereas the Legatus is only stuck down to that 30-man threshold. They are going to be fleeing as fast as they can, but some of them are getting caught on the routing units and are actually get caught. And that's going to put the Roman Legatus into a very, very tricky situation indeed. And right now the Romans are being pursued into the depths of destruction. And it is kind of crazy that the Chinese have formed into a pretty dense formation, luckily reforming now. I mean, yeah, as I said, this battle looks very close. Romans still have a pretty nice position, but the Chinese have a lot of this good cavalry left. 3 units of their general cavalry, obviously, and just a lot of good infantry. And I think the Romans can definitely be stretched in this battle as they finally deal with that. They can reform up. Obviously, you know, the Chinese do have a lot of very, very strong infantry. These Imperial swords are going to be deadly. Romans, though, obviously, you know, staying true to their Roman ways and forming up a pretty deadly formation. But they just have a lot of these smaller units of legionaries who are still left alive. And here we go, the advancement coming in. Somehow there's still some Pila left, which is going to be huge. There you go, the lines are now clashing once again. I think we've seen these Imperial officers fight too much as they now engage the Roman battle line. We also have some cavalry in the distance moving around. That's going to be so important to who wins this battle. And they really need to commit this flank. This flank is what's going to win them, because they can quickly wrap around and completely envelop this formation. Does seem like they are going to have to be up against it, but as the cavalry do now clash and the Romans charge everything in to this position, trying to cut the head off the snake and deal with the Chinese general. And even these infantrymen are getting stuck in, and the cavalry is just trying to hammer and anvil the ever-living crap. And there you go, the Roman line is starting to drop. The legionaries running away for their lives. Only 14 men left in that unit, and they are fleeing, escaping their fate of death and destruction. More cavalry coming in as well, looking just to try and break these Roman lines. I mean, look at that. The Warlord is doing an amazing job, but he is now down to 30 men. Just cannot withstand the amount of Romans being thrown at him. But he's holding up so much of the enemy forces that this is a noble sacrifice by the Chinese general right there. He is holding up, and I think all the Chinese generals are basically just trying to slut the enemy infantry so they can win pretty handily on this flank, because they can definitely win. A really nice rear charge there by this Imperial general, breaking these flanks, and again another charge coming in, which is just enough to break this general. Man, and that's going to send a chain route down the Roman formation. And that's going to... You can already see the Chinese cheering for victory. Victory is not won quite yet, my friend. Rome has proven several times that they are not to be underestimated. And they are starting to push back the Chinese infantry right here. The Imperial officers lay dead at the Romans' feet, with more reinforcements coming in to help them out. And just look at that. Yeah, you can see the Chinese wrapping around, but the Roman cavalry is still pretty, you know, healthy. And they have now dealt, I think, with, besides this unit, all of the Chinese generals. They've got 2 generals left. They are basically all both surrounded. Another charge going in. as they fly into the side of them, and the Roman infantry trying to reinforce it. I think they know their only key to victory right here is to kill the Chinese generals. If they can bring them down, then my god, victory may still be at stand, because Rome is fighting bravely on. There might be another rout here, which is so important. Oh my god, this battle is definitely not over with, and they are killing the enemy generals. This unit is very low. You can see this unit of Imperial Warlords is trying to pull out. And this battle is nowhere near done. The Romans are fighting on. They might just not have enough men, as the Chinese still have a very elite section of their force. It seems like Rome does still have a lot of cavalry still left remaining. I honestly don't know who can win this battle. I think Rome might snatch this one, but then again, they don't really have a lot left. They still have cavalry. This battle could still go either way with only a minute left. And I think that the death of the Chinese generals is going to win it for Rome. Somehow. Oh my god, what an insane ending to this battle. Rome is mother to us all, and I think the Romans are going to withstand this, even though the Chinese have some really good infantry left. Just the charges, the Romans still having like a handful of infantry left, barely anything, but I think this envelopment is just going to break the Chinese morale. It's going to cause a mass rout. And that's exactly, I think, what's going to happen. Another rear charge here. Probably going to be the nail in the coffin there for China. Man, China had that if they didn't lose their generals. That was unfortunate for them. But again, the Roman morale is dropping. They don't really have a lot of men left. The Triarii are going to stand to the end. But, man, there you go. Rome winning at the very end. What a clutch battle that turned out to be. My God. How insane. What an ending. What an absolute crazy ending to that engagement. What an awesome battle to show off this really cool Chinese mod. Having the Romans duke it out is just absolutely awesome. And there you go. The battle is over. Costly victory indeed for Rome, but a victory nonetheless. They managed to withstand the enemy forces. And yeah, you can see the Chinese definitely, committed a lot more men to this fight. They probably, shared the economy, though, for this battle to make it a little bit more even, as these guys obviously would have set up this battle beforehand. So yeah, big shout out to everyone who played in this battle. As I said, if you want to be a part of these battles, I'll leave their Discord down below in the description. I'm always happy to do that. If anyone sends me in replays and wants me to mention something or, shout out their Discord to get more players, I'm always happy to do that, as you guys have taken the time to send me in the battle replay. As always, massive shout out to all of my Patreons. I really appreciate it, and YouTube members. And I think today will be the last day you can get on this list for next month, because I update this list every single month. So if you want to find yourself on here, consider supporting me on Patreon or by becoming a YouTube member by hitting that join button and checking out the stuff there. So yes, I'll see you guys in the next one, and fish out.